Big change coming to Blaze economy. I'm glad. I want to talk about why, and I'm going to talk about why you should never buy points and why the buying points feature is going away. Now, most people don't understand this, so I'm going to try to explain this in such a way so that you understand it. But before we get into that, just a heads up right now with the Bitcoin price going up. I mean, where are we at? Sorry, I was trying to pull that price back up. Oh, here we are, 11,274 for Bitcoin right now. I am mining almost $1 a day just by using my web browser, my CryptoTab web browser. That's at current prices. What happens if that hits 100,000 one day? I mean, that all of a sudden you go from $1 a day to $10 a day just by using your web browser. If you think Bitcoin's going up, you need to be using a CryptoTab browser. By the way, they've got some great statistics now. You can see, like, yesterday I had one person open a link. I had 424 active miners. Oh, this is today so far. So far today I've made 3 cents. Yesterday, 5link opens, one person installed. I had 519 total active referral miners. I made $1.17. Check it out. In a week I made almost $1 a day. In a month I've made a little more than $1 a day the past month. That's crazy. Again, when this hits 100,000, then you're talking about $10 a day with no more referrals. You know, who cares if it's 10 cents a day? It's no different than using the Chrome web browser. CryptoTab's amazing. I use it all the time. I have it up almost 24/7. It's incredible. So people are always talking about how do you get referrals, et cetera, et cetera. The easiest way to get referrals is just talk to other people who are using the CryptoTab browser that are interested in Bitcoin. And even if they don't use it now, when the Bitcoin prices start going up, we go into another bull market, everybody's going to be talking about it. They're going to come back to you and be like, hey, what was that browser you were talking about to earn free Bitcoin? They should have been earning free Bitcoin all along. But there are some people that will use it, and those by far have been my best long-term, most loyal referrals are people that I personally have talked to about CryptoTab browser. I don't care if you get 5 or 10 people. It adds up over time. All right, enough about that. Let's talk about Blaze. So, and if you wait, I'll just say this. If you want to use a CryptoTab browser, subscribe to the Crypto Passive Profits newsletter down below. As soon as you subscribe, the very first thing you're going to get referred to is a page to download and install the CryptoTab browser. And it works exactly like Google Chrome, identical basically. All right, so let's talk about this. So buying points, why is this a bad thing? So typically right here, people would like to buy points. And sometimes in chat, people would advocate it. Now, this feature is going away, and some people don't understand why this is a good thing. First of all, let's talk about what is buying points. While gamblers can enjoy betting for points, traders can take advantage of predicting future exchange rate movement. You can buy points anytime at a slightly higher exchange rate than the current rate. Unlike betting, you know how many points you will earn beforehand. The general strategy is to purchase points when the exchange rate falls below average. Unlike in gambling, where the exchange rate can go up or down, buying points will always cause the exchange rate to rise. This is the part where people mess up. Buying points will always cause the exchange rate to rise. You can buy up to your last bet amount. So for example, if your last roll was for 1,000 Tron, you can buy up to 1,000 Tron on your next purchase. No matter the size of your buy, you will need to roll an additional time before buying a second time, meaning you cannot buy twice in a row. The maximum amount allowed per transaction is 5,000 TRX. Now, the reason this maximum was put in place is because at one point you could buy as much as you want, and the weakness in buying points was very obvious. So they limited it a little bit by saying you could only buy 5,000, but still there's a bunch of people, I mean, you could roll, buy, roll, buy, roll, buy, you still buy a ton. And the problem with buying points gets confused because people say, well, how can it be bad? Because it causes the exchange rate to go up. Buying points causes it to go up every time. But here's what people don't realize. When you buy points, it causes the exchange rate to go up, but it also causes total points in circulation to grow, which means that the next time someone buys 1,000 points, that fee that is going to go towards the exchange rate is going to have far less of an effect, and their points are going to stack on top of yours. So now all of a sudden you got 142. Someone else comes along, they buy 1,000 points. Well, now you got 143. Their points are going to have a far less effect. Basically, the upward movement gets diluted the more points there are. So people are like, oh, it's super cheap, but there's 100,000 points down here, I can mine. it doesn't have to go up as far. People say that because the argument is if you buy points, it only has to get here 0.86 before you can 0.867 and above, and you start earning a profit on the points that you buy. That is true, but keep in mind that's combined with rolling. And if you have if break even is a 1.01, as it's going to be in the future, then your actual break even between the two statistically is halfway between 0.86 and 1.01. So it's a little further off than most people realize unless they get lucky on their rolls. But still, all they're doing is stacking points, and it's becoming much more difficult to move that rate. And even if a whale comes in, we've had as much as 500,000 points. You can cancel it. There's no more action happening for the rest of the day until the timers expire. And so when that happens, everybody's basically screwed. Dividends end up sucking. No one's playing because the only thing that happens is a little bit of king action. But even then, kings, again, the more points there are, the less effective kings is at moving this rate. By the way, this was a crazy low rate, but the far less effective kings is at moving this rate. In fact, take a look at it. It looks like it's moved a lot, but it's only moved from a low of 0.796 to 1.81, almost 1.86. So what's that? Like 5 little points, basically? No, not even. 79 to 2. It's not even moved 2 full points up. That's nuts. And when you see it moving like this is from people playing kings, by the way. So it's not moving. And part of the reason it's not moving is because there's not enough player volume, meaning enough players playing to move this. And if they play machine, it's just going to cause it to go up and down and basically range sideways. So machine's not going to be all that effective. So people all the time say, oh, how come no one's buying points? They need to buy points because they want to. And the reason people say that is because they think buying points causes the rate to go up. It does cause the rate to go up, but it does not cause the rate to go up as much as it weighs down the rate over time. So every buy is less effective. Your buying power gets diluted the more points there are. That's why buying points is going away. It's bad for the game economy. It's bad for the player profitability or a chance of having profitability. It's bad for the action of the game because it makes the game stall much longer. It's bad. And it's bad for dividends because every time that rate pops over 1.01 in the future, everybody's going to be rolling. I say in the future because it should be happening later this weekend. Everybody's going to be rolling and selling. And when you sell, that's when dividends go up. And going forward, that's the only time dividends really move is on the sell. So that's when the bulk of dividends are going to happen is on the sell. So with that in mind, it's a good thing that buying points is going away. You've got to understand that because again, listen to me. If you think buying points is good because you get a profit at 0.86, the more points that are out there, the harder it is. All this time, which this big low rate happened hours ago, wherever it was, where this guy Schmegna was apologizing. The rate will never recover. The rate will not recover because everybody's got so many points. Let's see. I'm trying to find out where people are talking strategy. It's always fun to read strategy. So this happened all the way at 6:30 this morning, and we're currently at 9 o'clock. So 2.5 hours, and it's moved 2 points, and it's got a long way to go at 2.5 hours. Now, keep in mind your real profit isn't going to be at 5 points. It's basically going to be halfway between here and the profitability of machine. So if the profitability of machine is currently is 1.05, so that's the break-even point. So your break-even point is going to be halfway between 0.86 and 1.05, which is what? 87, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99. Oh. 100. So that's going to be 13, 18. So basically 9 points above this is going to be your break-even, if I did that right. So it would be 95.95 would be your actual break-even when you calculate average statistics on machine, you're probably not going to hit it. You're probably not going to hit it. So then here's what people say. People say, well, this timer should be shorter. If you shorten the timer, then what that means is that people are forced to sell. Anytime people are forced to sell because of a timer, you're forced to do one of two things. You either have to roll for more time, which isn't very effective, or you have to sell at a loss. Anytime that happens, it's bad for the economy. You don't want people to have to do that too often. It's going to have to happen some just to keep the game moving. But if you shorten the timer too much and you're going to create a game that only favors the whales, because the whales always have more Tron to roll for more time. And when you roll for more time, basically what that means is you're able to drop below. Right now, see this guy right here? He's in a pretty good position because Schmegden, or however you say that, he's going to have to sell first. And then there's probably going to be a lot less points out there. The rate's going to move a lot easier. So he's going to have to sell first. So any of these people can roll if they have extra Tron to get behind you. But the problem with rolling is it only adds a few seconds per roll. It's just not super effective. The answer is not to have, the only reason for the timer is an actual backdrop, a backstop, if you will. And you've got to have enough time for the rate to typically move up. So by them getting rid of the buy points feature, it's going to prevent huge stacks. We're not going to see, in most cases, 500,000 point stacks here. And when that happens, it's going to make it more effective for kings to move the rate. There still may be times, it doesn't mean you're never going to have, it doesn't mean a whale's never going to come in here and get lucky. It does not mean that, because when they get lucky and they roll well, the rate's going to drop. But if a whale gets lucky, then there's a good shot they may sell early as well, by the way, which is good for dividends, because overall, when they sell early, it's going to go towards dividends. So they may end up selling early because they see themselves in profit. So a whale, that's a positive thing. So buying points is going to be good to get rid of that. The answer is not to extend the timer. Now, I don't necessarily think we need 24-hour timers either. I don't think you really want to see that. And if you did have a 24-hour timer, under no circumstances would you ever want to go beyond that. I think 12-hour timer is a good compromise. At this point in the current economy, by getting rid of buy points, I think that's enough time to see the rate go up, is the 12-hour timer. So we'll have to wait and see. But hopefully you understand why buying points is a horrible, horrible idea for the economy overall. And it's great to see us getting rid of it. And I think it's actually overall a bad strategy to stack up a whole bunch of points. This is something I used to advocate for. I no longer advocate for it. Thank you so much for watching. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that subscribe button. Give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't seen the latest pinned message on Telegram, you need to come check it out. There's basically going to be a 1% edge on machine going forward when the rate is below 1.01, and the new break even is going to be 1.01, not 1.05. It's going to become the most realistic DApp to be able to earn Tron on. Like literally right here, the break even rate of machine is going to be 1.01 if you manage to sell right here. If you manage to sell above this value most of the time, you can expect to be in profit in the long run, even before the divs. That's extraordinary. I don't know of any other DApp where that's possible. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being here. Have an awesome day.